Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is the fifth entry into the Mission Impossible franchise. It's directed by Christopher McQuarrie, and it came out in July of 2015. The movie once again brings back the biggest movie star in the world, with Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt, while also bringing back other familiar faces from the franchise like Ving Rhames as Luther, Simon Pegg as Benji, and Jeremy Renner as William Brandt. And it also introduces new characters into this franchise, some good and some bad. On the good side of characters, we get introduced to Alec Baldwin as Alan Hunley, who works for the CIA, but by the end of the movie is the newest director of the IMF. We also get introduced to Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa Foss, who kind of starts as a double agent, working for the British government, also working for the bad guys, but ultimately she's a kick-ass good guy by the end of the film. And the movie introduces my second favorite villain in this entire franchise, played by Sean Harris, and his name is Solomon Lane. And Solomon Lane not only created the Syndicate, but he is the head of the Syndicate, and the Syndicate is basically the opposite of the IMF. They're the bad guys out there destroying things around the world. And so this movie puts Ethan Hunt versus Solomon Lane, and there's a lot of money on the table, and Solomon Lane is after it all. Ultimately, Ethan Hunt has to stop the Syndicate from their evil plans while also proving that they exist to the world and making sure that him and the rest of the IMF get their names cleared once and for all. My biggest positive coming out of this movie is the action set pieces. Whether you like hand-to-hand combat, car chases, there's a knife scene. Of course, Tom Cruise going around doing his stunts. In this movie, he's hanging off of a plane that actually takes off into the air, and he's just holding on for dear life. The guy is crazy, and we love him for it. But yeah, the action set pieces, they might be the best in the entire franchise. I also really love the one big mask reveal in this movie where the Prime Minister is being briefed on Ethan Hunt, how deadly he can be, how much of an asset he is, and how they don't want to mess with him, only to find out that Ethan Hunt is in the room as he takes that mask off. It's just such a cool moment. My only negative coming out of this movie is the emotional beats between Rebecca Ferguson's character and Tom Cruise. I just really didn't feel that emotional connection that they were trying to push, and maybe that's because I was so bought into the relationship between Ethan Hunt and his wife from part 3 and 4. I loved that send-off at the end of 4, how he was always going to make sure that she was okay. So it just felt kind of weird that they immediately sort of pushed him into a relationship with Rebecca Ferguson's character. It just felt wrong. I can't explain it, but the emotional beats didn't work for me, and I think it's because I bought into the emotional beats so much from the previous 2 entries in the movie. Overall, this is one of the best entries into the franchise. Again, if you're there for the action, if you're there for the stunts, or just the story in general with this Syndicate versus the IMF, with Ethan versus Solomon Lane, I loved all of that, and it's a movie I highly recommend.